Hey guys, welcome back to the JP and Trav show on the Indie Sooner YouTube channel. It's your boy JP. We got the homie Trav to the right of me. Trav, how you feeling?
Man, I'm doing great. Doing great. A little exhausted, but such is the life.
Such is the life.
Absolutely.
Hey, remember he's more than a bucket hat. Okay,
That's right.
we've already established that from our. If you haven't seen our podcast with the Anything OU podcast, which go check their channel out as well. He's more than a bucket hat. He just is. He's not the only guy. So.
Hey,
Um,
man. Even Steely brought it up when we were on radio in Omaha. Steely was like, "Yeah, that guy's got whatever." He's like, he's getting known for that hat he wears. And I was wearing this hat, and he was like, "Oh, the BMFS hat." He's like, "No, the bucket hat." And I was like, "I'm more than hashtag more than a bucket hat, Steely. Come on now."
Hashtag more than a bucket hat, absolutely.
That's
And
right.
obviously, as most of you knew and have known, if you follow me, I do have a little sister, my only sibling. She is visiting in Indianapolis this week, visiting not me, she's visiting her niece Amaya, as she's told me a lot of times. I'm not here for you, Jalen. I'm here for Amaya. So, most of you know she runs track at the University of Oklahoma. So just wanted to get her on today and speak a little bit. So welcome, Grace, to the show.
I'm his only and his favorite sister. So yeah.
And no, she doesn't have a Twitter account. So
Yes, she does not have a Twitter account at all.
stop asking.
Yep.
And neither does my sister either. So stop. Well, she does. But I don't want y'all. I don't want y'all creeping on my sister either. So
Exactly.
stay out of there.
Stay out of it. So obviously, one of the things that kind of we'll start talking out about is just giving Grace the floor to talk about how she got to be at OU. And her and I can kind of, as I try to get this camera situated here, her and I can kind of share a little bit about our family and our dynamic. I have a little bit, just how we became Oklahoma fans, but we'll probably share a funny story or two from our childhood. And obviously, you guys feel free to ask questions once we get to the Q&A portion. But so I was about 5.5-ish years old when Grace was born. I prayed for a sister. So some of you probably know this. I've detailed it on the Indie Shooter before, but we had a brother that passed away. He was born before Grace was. He was about 2 weeks old. Just didn't make it. Wasn't going good for him, and so that happened. So after that, me being little, I thought, well, the brother didn't work out, so let me ask for a sister, pray for a sister. So, God, can I get a sister, please? And believe it or not, my parents got pregnant. It was a girl, and so here comes Grace, and she was, here she is. She was cute as a kid, and everything like that. And so again, our family grew up in Oklahoma, Ardmore, Oklahoma, to be specific. We still have uncles and aunts and cousins and you name it in Ardmore to this day. We visit. I visit at least once a year. Grace is now obviously in Norman, so she goes pretty often. But my mom went to the University of Oklahoma in 1987 and graduated from there. And so, even when she came up here to work at Eli Lilly in Indianapolis, which is how we even got up here and were born up here, I've always said that Oklahoma runs in our blood stream, even though we were born Hoosiers or born in the Hoosier state, if you will.
Yeah, born in the Hoosier state.
Born in the Hoosier state, but we got Boomer blood. Okay, so that's how it's always been. I've always been diehard OU fan since I could really speak. Now Grace, on the other hand, she really didn't become OU fan until like high school. She was tell the truth. Tell the truth. You didn't. Go ahead. When did it happen?
Some discrepancies.
OU fan just like you. We went to the same games. Everything. I've always been an OU fan. I might not have started. I wasn't into football really until I got to high school.
Oh, that's what it is. So she didn't really have a
OU fan.
a way to express her fanhood through a certain sport. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. She really wasn't.
I always knew that the cheer team was really, really good. I always followed the cheer team because that's what I was into.
So was there a time in your life? And sorry to interrupt the family story, but was there a time in your life you were like, okay, cheerleading is going to be the route? And when did you decide that track was the route?
Yeah, I literally thought I wanted to go to college for cheerleading. Also, yeah, never the Razorbacks. Sorry. But I did want to go to college for cheerleading. I didn't start track until 8th grade. And so after I started track, I realized that like I could probably go somewhere with it, probably my sophomore year of high school. So I was like, maybe
So,
track would be a
so
better.
it just took you 2 years. You started in 8th grade, and then you were a sophomore, and you were like, "Oh, D1 scholarship. What up, dog?"
Yeah. Well, she won state her sophomore year in
Jeez.
7A in Arkansas. So she, for those of you who are familiar with the Arkansas area, Northwest Arkansas area, and Trav, obviously you are, and Drew in the chat, you are too. Bentonville, where we moved to when I was 15, she was 8. For years, they had kind of dominated in different sports, the Northwest Arkansas area, because they had about 5,000 students. It was getting pretty crazy. The Walmart had grown so much to the point where Bentonville's high school was just overpopulated. When I went there my junior year, I shattered my ankle, as most of you know, and had to have surgery. And so I'm just trying to get through the hallway of Bentonville High School, and it's like a traffic jam. It's crazy. Too many people. So, anyways, right before her freshman year, they split the schools. So you have Bentonville, the original Bentonville, and then you have Bentonville West. And so, Arkansas goes up in AAA to 7A. So she won state in the highest classification in Arkansas as a sophomore. And so, yeah, she didn't start to 8th grade. And so that's kind of when we realized she could really be a really good track runner and get a college scholarship. We didn't know necessarily what level yet. We fought D1, especially that early, but we wanted to make sure she could stave off injury and wouldn't go too crazy in the head. So,
have you talked with Jaden Rowe or Jencher Williams about track yet? I know they just got to campus, but
Me?
Yeah.
He doesn't talk to anybody about track.
She has not. She has not.
Well,
she hasn't met him yet.
You got to link up. I know Gentry's a national champion when he was younger in track, and then J-Ro just won the 100 and the 200 meter at state championship in Oklahoma. So they both chose to go with football now instead of track, but they're both speedsters. So they've been on campus for like a week. So you got time. You got plenty of time. But
yeah. So Grace knows a couple of the football cats that she's talked to. Who's one of your better friends on the team?
I don't know if I would say like friends. I've definitely talked to a few of them a few different times. Yeah, I guess Weatherman Jay is my friend.
Yeah, Jaden Knowles.
Yeah, I talked to Turk a few times. He's really nice, but I don't see them that often. I mean, oh my gosh, I almost exposed myself in here.
Yep.
I see them on campus sometimes. But
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if it was last year, maybe. It was last year, right before football season started. She mentioned to me that Jordan Mukes had said something to her. I was like, hey, he can chill out. Okay. I don't care. I don't care how raw of a prospect he is, because he is, and I think he has a high ceiling. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Leave my sister alone.
JP, who on the team would you approve to date your sister?
I liked Jaden. I thought he was cool, but no, it's fine.
We know that it's ultimately up to you who you date. I was just wondering how this overprotective big brother.
Yeah,
you can't
like
be
I've said
chasing people off.
I somewhat trust her in her evaluation of a young man, but one that would take care of her and treat her right. Which, to be honest with you, I don't know that's any football player. Now Michael Turk, I'm cool with him, but yeah, obviously he shacked up with Grace, right?
Right,
Grace Lyons,
right.
so that's fine. But obviously, that's what I would have to say.
Who's the one football player that you would not allow? Like, absolutely, like last person on the team you would let date her?
I gotta think about this one because I have a couple of names because I have insider info, but I don't want to get nobody in trouble.
All right, we'll have her follow up that question later. So we got a specific track question from Kelso though.
Let's throw it in there. Says, what's the scholarship situation like in track? I know in some of the non-football and basketball sports, some schools go heavy on partials instead of full scholarships.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is with track. Definitely the money goes more to football and like basketball, the bigger sports. So there's a lot of people on the team that have more partial scholarships than full rides.
Yeah. We were chatting about that yesterday. I have a guy up here that is helping me kind of build out my strength and conditioning program at my school. So he is a strength and conditioning program coordinator at Westfield High School, which is one of the bigger high schools in Indiana, one of the richer high schools in Indiana. And they just built him a facility that's pretty comparable to a D1 facility at the high school level. And so, built a relationship with him and told him a little bit about Grace. And so he said, "Oh, bring her up when she gets up here." So I did. Now, she will tell you that I sabotaged her because she wasn't expecting to have a workout happen. But I felt like I made that clear that's what we was going up there to do. So anyways, that's what happened. And one of the things that he talked about was, being a part of as many programs as he's been a part of. He was running back at Tennessee. He did unfortunately work for Texas at one point, and he's been a strength and conditioning coordinator in the NFL as well. He said, at times he feels like programs can shortchange their athletes on what they should have and should not have, and so Grace and I were talking about it on the way home, and she was like, "Yeah, football kind of gets everything they want. We don't get too much football. Everybody got more of those leg things, Normatechs. Every single person got a Normatech. And she's struggling to get a massage done for herself for recovery. So it's just one of those things. Hopefully, with the continuation of obviously as we'll get into here a little bit, OU track has done a little bit better this year than they have in a long time. People invest more into different sports, and we see.
I mean, just like softball. Softball is not a money maker. It's not in a traditional sense. Softball isn't what makes the athletic department a lot of money.
Yep.
But they start winning a lot, and now the Loves family backs up the Brinks truck. Probably because I went by Loves twice on this last road trip. So, I mean, I spent some money there. So I feel like I have at least one brick in the new stadium. I'm going to go sign it and be like, yeah, that was me. That was me. I spent that. I spent that money at Loves.
Travis Davison.
Yep.
Grace, what's your funniest story about me?
I literally told him before we came on here that I didn't know. But I guess when I was little, he used to make me cry. Like he would pinch me and make me cry just so that he could hold me.
Allegedly.
Just abuse.
What?
This is abuse.
Yeah. I would be like just minding my own business and then he would just pinch me. And so I would cry and he'd pick me up. Like he couldn't have just picked me up like he was my brother. Like,
man, this is why you wanted a sister? So you could be a bully? What's going on here?
Yeah, I plead the fifth. I can't speak to whether or not that happened. But one thing she did forget to tell y'all is,
was how much you love her.
Yeah, I do. As you guys know, I talk about her a lot, quite often. And one thing she did used to do that would annoy me, we'd be up. So and our old house here in Indianapolis is a 2-story. Um, we used to just, obviously our rooms are upstairs. She would just fall on the floor sometimes and just start crying out of nowhere.
It had nothing to do with the pinching.
I didn't touch her. I didn't touch her. I was in my room playing my game, and she would just say, "Mom, yeah, whatever. He hit me," and I would get in trouble. Like that's happened multiple times, and she's admitted it. I wish that we could go back in time somehow and kind of, fix that. But
So if I've admitted to mine, you can't admit to yours.
okay.
Man,
So also, all I
it's
wanted
like
to
Dr. Phil.
was hang out in his room, and then he wouldn't let me. So that's why I would do that. So yeah.
Oh man, she just wanted to spend time with her older brother, her older cool brother, and then you were like, "No,
Yeah,
get away from me, get out of my room."
we've reconciled now. It's
Yeah,
all good.
I can tell, man. Yeah.
Oh man, James, I was probably if we're talking about how old I was probably around 12 or 13 with my story. With her story, I was about 8 or 9. She was
Oh,
probably
so now
2.
you did pinch her.
I did. I'm gonna admit it. I did. My parents would be holding her, and I would want to hold her, and she wouldn't want to come to me. So then I pinch her. She start crying. Then she want to come to me. She'd be like. So I'll admit to it. It
Tell
was
you
me.
what, yeah, that was about that took us about 8 minutes, maybe less, probably 4 minutes. We'll have to check the clock for you to go from complete denial. Jeez, you need to teach Deshaun a lesson or something. You complete denial straight into just admit it. The truth shall set you free.
It so set me free. I talked about it. Here's one question. Now I know we said we get questions later, but we'll just let the chat kind of roll with it. Grace, so many of us in the chat are alumni. Tell us what it's like to be on campus these days.
When did you graduate?
She wants ages.
I really like the campus. It's really, really pretty. It's so pretty. Living there, like living in the dorms in Headington, was nice, even though pretty far from classes and everything. It's nice. The nicer the nicer dorm on campus.
Eddington's nice, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I don't miss living there because I live in an apartment, but like I do. It was cool living there, to be honest. So Headington wasn't there, right?
No,
Not there. What was your favorite? What's your favorite activity in Eddington? Obviously, they got pool tables. They got a little kind of nearly theater setup kind of style.
I do have all of that, and all of that was closed my freshman year because of COVID.
Oh,
But now, like my friends, I still have like my incoming freshman track girls. Still go and see them, and we get free meals at the Headington Dining Hall because we're athletes, and so we used to. They have a movie theater room in there, and so like we would have like Euphoria nights or like Bachelor nights in the movie room. So I like doing that, and then also the best thing in there is that we have like our own study rooms. We don't have to go all the way to the library or like
and study with the commoners. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I was in the study rooms all the time. Me and my friends just studying it up because
I don't think
we're student athletes. I almost said athlete students. We're student athletes.
Yep.
I don't think any of your teachers are watching this. I don't think you have to say how much you study. Like it's fine. Like you can. Those were my fondest days of OU as well.
Was closed, that's all I did.
Yeah.
Those are my fond memories of OU, as well as all the studying I did. My favorite parts, man.
Yeah, Grace didn't get that the traditional college experience her first year. This year was
didn't even get to go to football games. I was right across.
Yeah.
I was right across the street. Had to watch them on the TV.
Yeah.
And then
you weren't a football fan since until high school, so it's not like
I was a big football fan by this time. Knowing the TV would be delayed, and then I would hear like the fireworks and everybody screaming when they made a touchdown, and I wouldn't even know because it didn't hit the TV yet.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, I guess they scored.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did that. There was a I forget what it was. Bedlam. I have to think about what year it was. Where Blake Bell kept scoring those short yardage touchdowns. I was at a buddy's house, and we had set up couches and TVs outside and everything like that. It was right over, like, just north of Campus Corner. Like, you could see Campus Corner front. And it was like the same that you're talking about. Like, you'd hear the stadium go insane, and then, all right, you got to wait for it on TV, and then we'd go insane. Yes, it's not quite the same. I agree. But so you said, you mentioned you had Euphoria nights and Bachelor nights and stuff like that. What are your good show recommendations right now? What are you watching?
I'm watching Modern Family
Yep.
because I've pretty much watched everything. Oh my gosh, Jalen's making me miss the Kardashians premiere right now.
Who wants to
I
watch
watched
that?
the Kardashians.
Attaboy, JP. Attaboy. Doing the
Yeah,
Lord's
so
work.
who wants to watch that
I'm watching
anyways?
the Kardashians right now. It's pretty good. You guys should watch. This episode is going to be about Chloe finding out that Tristan cheated on her again. And so I was
my gosh, drama with
it, and Jalen's making me miss it.
It's fine. You can. It's on. You can always, TiVo it or whatever. Also, that was such an old reference. TiVo. What?
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, I think you're gonna do just fine without the Kardashian show tonight. But
Yeah.
Modern Family's kind of surprised. Who's your favorite character in Modern Family?
I literally just started watching it, but I think that Cam, I think that's his name. Yeah, the gay couple, the bigger one. Yeah. I can't believe I had to describe him like that. Not the redhead, the bigger one. He's my favorite right now.
I think that's probably a pretty popular opinion.
He's funny.
Yeah. Now, one thing I will say, obviously,
I met Lincoln Riley like 3 times, and I wanted him to run over me with his Lincoln because he drives a Lincoln, and I just thought it would be cool story or whatever. But yeah, now he's just we don't say his name anymore.
What do you call him?
Nothing.
Tebow?
Don't even talk about him.
No, irrelevant. We're moving on with the bees. It should have been that way anyways.
Yep, absolutely.
What I was going to say, before you interrupted me, was that
don't pinch her.
Grace, chill. Chill. Grace has actually been, she's made, I don't know if it was first, if they classify it in teams, but she's been academic all Big 12 the last 2 years. So
nice. What's that GPA looking like?
It's a 3.8 right now.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Love it. That's because you're spending all that time studying. Being an athlete student.
Absolutely. So, Trav, one thing I did want to ask you, Grace, unless you had anything to say. Anything else? No. Don't worry about it. So, how was Vegas? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Vegas is fantastic. Got to see 20 OU targets playing in the 7-on-7 event. So for those of you that don't know why I was in Vegas, Overtime, which is a company that's invested in by everybody. It's Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, Trae Young, Cam Newton, Jeff Bezos, Blackstone, David Stern's family. All kinds of people are invested in this Overtime company. And they're built for the 35 and under crowd. They're definitely all about sports going viral. They've got a huge facility, like an arena in Atlanta, where they host all their basketball tournaments and all kinds of stuff like that. Well, they're getting into the 7-on-7 game. For those of you that don't know what 7-on-7 is it's quarterbacks. It's usually quarterbacks, wide receivers, and defensive backs. There are some like running backs that go. There are some of your there was a defensive end out there. There was a linebacker out there. But for the most part, it's going to be your pass catchers and your pass throwers and your pass defenders, because it is quarterback dropping back. He has 4 seconds to throw, and the rest of the team, the 6 others, go out in routes. So it's why you see a lot of the NFL be run by a lot of young receivers now, because these guys are running routes getting open from the age of 8, 9 years old. So there's no lines, there's no running plays, there's no anything like that. So, anyways, this was 7-on-7. I did catch a pass. It wasn't thrown to me, but I caught a pass. So this 7-on-7 overtime's all about doing stuff big, right? So they get all of the best talent in the country. I mean, Nico Iamaliva was out there, the $8 million commit to Tennessee. Jaden Davis, number 1 quarterback in 2024. Jalen Rashada, who was going to commit to OU before Jackson Arnold did, another 5-star guy. You had Malachi Nelson out there, of course. You had Brandon Ennis, Makai Lemon. There were a lot of OUD commits out there. But your Ruben Owens of the world, Desmond Ricks, four stars and 5 stars galore. And so they're all playing 7-on-7. And all these big donors, the Ruiz family runs Miami Immortals. So they've got all different uniforms for each and every day. They've all got matching backpacks. They've all got different warm-ups. They've got all this kind of stuff, right? Well, there's no ramifications, there's no consequences to getting in a fight or talking mad shit on somebody or whatever, right? Because it's not school sanctioned, so they're not going to get in trouble from the school, and they're already a 5-star, so it's not like anything they do out there their college isn't going to pull their offer, right? So it's so much bravado. I mean, Cam Newton was one of the coaches. He's getting in dudes' asses. Just if they blow a coverage or something like that, Cam Newton is the one yelling at you about blowing a coverage. All this, kids are getting in each other's faces, but overtime's big on going viral and doing all this, right? So they have a DJ, and this is not like normal 7-on-7 stuff. They have a DJ that's playing the main field. They've got big video boards doing replays. They've got an MC that's narrating every play, and if a guy misses a route or whatever, they'll play that he wasn't ready, all that. They're going hard at him. Dang. Well, anyway, so incredible talent. Got to meet a lot of the OU targets, talked to them a lot about what they thought. There was actually one recruit, Mr. JoJo Stone, that he's been visiting Georgia a lot because he lives in the area, but he said Ohio State was his dream school. But he wants to play wide receiver, and he got offered as a defensive back. So, anyways, but he goes, I haven't told anybody this. He goes, but OU's got the best fan base. He goes, Oklahoma's got the best fan base. He goes, there are a lot of us that tweet something out, and it's crazy. I'll just put a picture up from a visit, and it'll get 1,000 likes. He's like, he goes, it's crazy. He's like, and a lot of recruits talk about it. I'm like, because with that, it's cool to be part of OU Twitter and notice that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But also it can be, those are the people that are going to be buying your merch. Those are the people that are going to be supporting, whether it's an NFT or, anything like that. That kind of stuff translates to dollars down the road. You'll have more followers, which a company like Audience Rent can come in and rent to businesses, stuff like that. So, but it was really cool. Got to talk to a lot of them. Parker was really more he's got his 247 shirt on. He's got nothing OU.
Yeah.
I've just got a coach's polo that just has the Sooners on the sleeve. So none of us are shouting OU. So he did that obviously so he could get better information without them being biased. But after I learned they liked OU, I'm like, so when are you coming back to Norman, man? We got to get you back to Norman. All this stuff. It was a lot of fun. But we did radio from out there and drove back 17 hours road trip. So that was tough, real tough. But hey, best food. Oh man! First of all, shout out to everybody that followed along on Twitter and tweeted out different recommendations in all the different cities. I was stopped in Blue Sky in Amarillo. Had some fantastic burgers. What was cool about that spot is you walk in, you order. They've got, I don't know what burger place I would compare it to, but they've got kind of their standard burger with they've got it broken down mustard, lettuce, onions, pickles, tomatoes, patty, mayo, all that stuff, right? And then you can add whatever you want on it. Well, so we get our burgers and we go sit down, and I'm wearing an OU shirt, and the softball game started, right? So game 1 is starting. So we're sitting there, and like pretty sure Jada hits a double. So I start clapping, and we're in Amarillo, Texas. A guy turns, looks at us, and goes, "Boomer," and I was like, "Yeah, we're deep." So we go all the way to Amarillo, Texas, sit down, and next to us is no U fan who's watching the softball game. So I thought that was really cool. Now, Amarillo is the westernmost Brahms as well. So for any Oklahomans that are going out to Vegas, you got to stop and get some ice cream at Brahms before you go out west. So we stopped there, and then we head to Albuquerque that night, home of Christian, and I'll tell you what, Albuquerque was a little weird. I'll be honest. Like the nightlife, we went out. I was like, man, let's go get a drink or something like that. And Parker doesn't drink, so it was just me. But I was like, hey, I got a built-in DD if I need one. So we go out, and it's just, I don't know. I think they just recently passed recreational marijuana there, I believe, and it's there's a whole lot of meth there, and yeah, it was a weird vibe downtown, very weird vibe. So, anyways, go back to the hotel. We do a little radio there in the hotel, and then it was I think it was called Tia B's Waffleria. I could be wrong there. Christian will have to correct me if I am, but the Waffleria. That's all you got to know. This place took every take on breakfast, but it did it as a waffle. So they had like salmon, like lox and bagels, right? They did a waffle with smoked salmon and capers and all this kind of stuff. I had a waffle with a hatch green chili cheese sauce. That was so good. So I had that.
Amazing.
It was so good. And then Parker had a green chili and chicken and waffles. And what was so cool was there all these picnic tables outside. It was clearly in an old house, and they've got like old like Pueblo style like square clay houses. Like it's very much like nothing you see in this part of the country. So we're driving through, and it was like in an old house, and you could eat out back in the garden area, or you could eat out front, and it was just really cool. You could eat in the house. So, anyways, we do that. We get out of there after doing radio. We go to Flagstaff, and shout out to everybody that recommended Fat Olives in Flagstaff, because you go in and it's a busy spot, but you go in, and we went to the bar area. Well, they're playing the softball game, which was incredible, first of all. So we're watching that. It was the same night as the podcast. So we're watching that, and everything's going well. And then they've got some special certification about their pizza, where like they get the water from Italy and the flour from Italy and I don't know, everything else from Italy.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And it was incredible. We had great pizza, good like margarita pizzas, with like great mozzarella, like house made mozzarella, incredible stuff. So we ate that, and then we had some Italian sodas, of course, Italian cream sodas. We stir the cream into it, and so we had those, and we got back on the road. That place was so good. We actually ate there on our way back as well, and got more pizza. It was fantastic, but Vegas was good. I'll tell you what, breakfast was hitting. We went to this place called Baby Stacks Cakes. I think Baby Stacks. I think it was Baby Stacks, and it was like, originally you look at the menu. It's a small place in Vegas. You're looking at the menu, and it's like, okay, I'm going to get pancakes or this, or blah blah blah. So I pick an adobo rice omelet, if you will. So it's a Filipino dish, and they do like shredded marinated chicken with rice and all this, and they wrap it up in an omelet, and it looks like a burrito and whatnot. But so I go to order it, and she's like, okay, what pancake do you want? And I was like, what do you mean? All their like huge full page on the front is all the different pancakes you can have, and it comes with the meal. I was like, oh man. So I got like a lemon ricotta with like a blueberry butter or something. I don't know. It was crazy. And
Wow.
Parker got a poppy seed joint that was awesome. So yeah, all the food. Blueberry Hill was amazing. I had a breakfast meatloaf with some bacon over the top with gravy on a biscuit and all this. the food was fantastic. So if you know one thing about me, it's that I'm going to do my best to find the best food on my trips. Because
Yes. Did you have
I
a
don't know if you can hear that in the AirPods, but that belly, it didn't get there because I don't like food.
Yes, Travis owns well, he owned 3 restaurants at one time in Tulsa. Sold 2, got into audience rent, which I'll explain to you later. But he still owns Trey's Bar and Grill, which was his original restaurant. That's where Kirsten and I went when we went to Tulsa when we visited.
We did the live show.
You have to make it out there when you get to Tulsa one time.
Yeah, you live so
Say what's
close.
up.
I don't know why he gets here. I don't know why you don't, but
Yeah, crazy.
it's all right. I won't pinch you or anything either, like your mean older brother did.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's
Maybe you and Weatherman Jake can come through.
Oh, god.
I'm just saying, he's a nice kid. He's a nice kid.
he's a nice kid. Yes.
Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong.
They're friends. All right. Hey, let's talk a little bit about recruits. So most of you have seen in the last couple of days, we've gotten a couple of recruits. Today specifically, we got 4-star Caleb Hicks from Denton Ryan, running back, big time recruit for DeMarco Murray in that running back room. He continues to prove his mettle as a recruiter. And for whatever reason, at some point there was the conversation that he wasn't a good recruiter, which I think he's kind of put that to bed at this point, if I'm being honest. But yeah, great.
I think people started saying that because of Trey Wisner ended up at Texas. The Kamar Wheaton was technically under his reign.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. With Caleb Hicks, that's big time. Obviously, the Chapman McCown committed. That dude is built like a little tiny Captain America looking dude. He's just yoked.
That's the guy.
And
That's a cat from Northern North, right?
yes, yeah,
There we
he is a
go.
preferred walk-on for you that don't know, but yeah, yes, we did get another transfer from UCF
Yep.
that played under Levy, played with Dylan. He came through, but we got a lot of running backs right now. A lot of running backs right now. So, but yeah, this class we're going to take 2 scholarship backs. It's important to say scholarship, right? Because Chapman McCown is going to be a preferred walk-on, and I honestly think Dalen Smothers is the next running back commit. Dylan Edwards, I think, is going to be left out in the cold. To be honest, I don't know where he's going to end up, but there are a lot of I think there are a lot of people that are handling the Dylan Edwards kind of the same way. Like, what are we waiting on? Like, you gotta boats are gonna fill up. Like, we're gonna take other dudes. So, I think he ends up, Kansas State maybe or something like that. But I would say Dalen Smothers, I think, is going to be next. He's the top ranked player in North Carolina. But Caleb Hicks, that's huge. I mean,
Yeah.
anything you can get in Denton Ryan. So he's teammates with Anthony Hill Jr., the top linebacker in the country that has visited OU a lot. He likes Venables a lot. He likes Ted Roof a lot, he said. So I think it's going to come down to us and A&M for that. And I know everybody's sick of hearing us and A&M because we keep on losing recruits to them. But,
PSD.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'd rather be in the top 2 with a shot,
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't like the Aggies. That's right. They wouldn't act like they're not paying people off, but okay, Jimbo.
Yeah, weird. Okay. But obviously, Welcome Formby going to Ole Miss. Yes, he's going to Ole Miss. Obviously, Bryson Sanders going to Ole Miss. But I think we leave for Peyton Kirkland personally. I know that some people have him going to Florida. I still like him going to OU. I think his relationship with Jackson Arnold's going to pay off. And I like Caden Green ending up at OU soon. So we're really, with the top ranked center in the class and with Caden Green, with Peyton Kirkland, and then if we can get another from somewhere, I'm not sure, but I mean that's a strong offensive line class too, especially with the ability to bring in transfers.
Absolutely. And speaking of A&M, obviously OU plays Texas A&M in baseball in Omaha on Friday. So I know that there's going to be a send off. Trav, is that correct? Make sure I'm correct on what we were talking
The team
about.
send off if you are in Omaha, and
I'm
I
gonna drop
know.
it in the chat real quick.
Yep. So if you can go to that link that he just put in the chat. That is like the Game Day Central link. So it's got everything from like parking tickets, like where in the hotel, like where the like Club of Nebraska I think is going to be meeting up, all kinds of stuff. But there is going to be the Sooner team send off from their hotel, which is the Hilton right there. And they'll be going at 10 a.m. from Omaha or from the hotel to the stadium on Friday morning. So if you are going to be there, I'm going to do my best to get there as quickly as we can from Norman, so I can be at that. So I'll just have to wake Mr. Parker up early. We hitting the road. So
road trip.
Yeah, he's driving on this one. I drove the Vegas trip. He's going to drive the Omaha trip.
What's his name?
Keegan Allen. Go Keegan.
Keegan Allen on baseball team. It's a friend of hers. It's from Bentonville.
Oh, okay. Is he going to come to Trey's with you?
I mean, he can if he wants.
I think the common denominator is you need to go to Trey's.
Go future Trey's employee or future Trey's customer, Keegan.
Yes.
We got him.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and head to our Q&A portion. We've got about 18 or so minutes left, so let's go ahead and ask any questions. Obviously, you can ask Trav any questions about his trip or just in general, as you normally do, or myself, obviously, or Grace, our guest tonight. Go ahead and feel free to ask her any questions about herself or track or anything like that.
Christian's got one about the QB room. Well, I guess Matt's got one first.
This one?
Yes, I'm also sick of A&M. And yes, some of them, it really is about the money. Is what it is. These are young kids. Some of them, their families are making these decisions for them. Some of them are a bit short-sighted at times. But then you've got things like, Gabe Brown-Dindy was going to be a Sooner, but then the guy that was recruiting him, we got hamstrung big time by the staffing change.
Yep.
I mean, they were bringing in, they didn't know who they were bringing in. Okay. And then maybe they want to play a different position, but A&M says that they're going to be able to play him at the position they had originally said. And so it's not as clear cut as just, hey, they paid him and everybody just wants to take the money. There is a situation where they're like, you know what, the coaching staff is remaining the same. That's what it is. They're putting a ton of money into their coaching staff. They're putting a ton of money into their facilities. They are in the SEC right now. They're not having to wait for people to get in the SEC. And that is a real thing. I talked to recruits. At the 7-on-7 in Vegas. And they talked when they were listing like what schools they were interested in. There were more than 3 that said, I just want to play in the SEC. And that matters. Yeah. And especially the Texas kids, like the state of Texas kids, is OU and Texas are going to the SEC, yes. But we're not there yet. And if a high-rated kid that's probably going to get run early, wants to play in the SEC above all, then he's going to go now, and especially in the 2022 class, because it's like, all right, 2023, if I can play as a true freshman, which a lot of these 5 stars do at some point, especially if you're joining a team that went 4-4 in the SEC. Mm-hmm. But I digress. So you'll get on the field early. So you're playing the 23, 24, and 25 year. So maybe OU's not even in the SEC yet, and you're already, hiring an agent to go to the NFL. So the SEC appeal to recruits does absolutely work for A&M. This isn't just a situation where A&M wouldn't be in their top 100 and then now they got a bag, so they're their number 1 school. That is not the case. A&M, believe it or not, whether we like it or not, has a lot more going for it than just the money, which they are paying out. I'm not saying that they aren't, but I'm saying it's kind of a lazy excuse on our side to be like, well, A&M's only giving money. Like, they are, but they also are in the SEC, and that matters almost as much as the money, because that's what I heard kids saying before they even knew our affiliation. What they wanted to do was to go play in the SEC,
Yeah.
and that's why we'll get a recruiting bump. Simple as that.
Simple as that. Now we had one question way back when, it's asking, what major are you in school, Grace?
I am a math education major, so I want to teach secondary math, so that's high school, or if I want, I guess I could be a professor, but I would rather just stay in high school. I also want to coach, so yeah,
What do you want to coach?
cheer.
Just keep coming back to cheer. I got you.
She is a cheer leader at heart, and God just blessed her with track abilities. Travis, are you bringing the tomahawk steaks to Omaha?
Omaha got their own steaks, bro. Omaha got their own steaks. So, no, I won't be transporting any tomahawks. No, definitely not. But they would be good. They are good steaks.
Speaking of the quarterback room, I've heard some rumors of a change coming to the quarterback room. Any ideas?
I don't know about specific change you're hearing rumors of, but I do think Booty is likely the backup to start the year. Probably to start the year. I don't think we want to burn Nick's red shirt. If we don't need to. I still have all the faith in the world in Nick Evers. I think he's a talented kid. But I do think the reason they went after a backup as strongly as they did is because they wanted a guy with college experience. Because it's a disservice to true freshmen to throw them into the fire. I mean, we've seen it with other players that were forced to play as true freshmen that it's not supposed to go really well. Like it's very rare for a true freshman just to be able to go in and be like, they're not all Adrian Peterson. You can't just walk in and you're like, okay, you're head and shoulders above everybody that's played the sport.
Right.
So, a lot of it is protecting those freshmen as well too. Is not putting them in a negative situation, which I think most people agree that it is a negative situation to put. I mean, we even saw it. Caleb was supposed to be the Pied Piper, right? And he went 3-2 as a starter.
Yep.
Right. So, and almost lost to Kansas if he didn't do a play that I'm not sure many people knew was legal. So, I mean, now will that affect him negatively going forward? I don't know. If he never learns how to read his own defense, it might. Or if he thinks that throwing it up is always going to work because Marvin Mims is always going to come down with it. Like, it's just not the case. So,
yeah. Grace, why don't you go ahead and say what you said to me earlier?
I'm saying I just can't believe that there's somebody on the team named Booty, because I was at Rally House. I was getting my niece some OU gear, and they sell jerseys there, and you can customize the jerseys with the players' names and everything. I was with my friend Paige, and her and the cash register started talking about this person named Booty, and I thought they were joking. I thought they were just like making a joke to put Booty on the back of a jersey or whatever. And I was like, why are y'all wanting to put Booty on the back of a jersey? Like, I know I'm thick or whatever, but like, dang. And then he was like, no, like, somebody on the team is named Booty. Like, I was like, what?
Dude,
I thought he was joking the whole time.
Yes.
When he was on his visit, it was the least productive day in radio history. Because the whole text line all day, I mean, you should have seen it. It was like the average like text line activity. It was up like 500% on that day because everybody was just trying to get off their booty jokes, and every intro and everything like you play music to lead into the segment. It was Miss New Booty. It was everything. Like that's all we were playing was with that pun. Oh,
John David Booty.
So yes, the booty is very real.
Yes.
It's not one of those Miami booties or LA booties. It's a good old Midwestern booty. The booty is real.
Good old Plains booty.
It's not a BBL.
What events does Grace run in track, and how did OU do this year at the NCAA finals?
I run short sprints, so the 1 and 2, and then the 60 indoor, and they did pretty all right at the finals this year. Our guys' side did the best that they've done since 2007. We had a lot of people in finals, and my friend Lauren.
Yeah, she's my Lauren Jones.
She placed 4th in the disc, so that's really good. And she was 2nd team All-American in the hammer throw. That's also good. Our throw squad is just pretty deep. They're all really good. And yeah, I mean, we did pretty well, I think.
What's your 100 time? What's your best? Your PR, should I say? I'm sorry, I should speak in track lingo.
Roughly right now, it's like 11.9. So we're working on getting that down.
Do you have a goal?
Do I have a goal? Yes, my coach made us write down goals at the beginning of the season. So I really wanted to go 11-4 or lower because that's what's scoring right now in the Big 12. So.
See, I was always one of those guys. You make your goals really attainable, so then at the end of the year, you're just like blew this shit out of the water.
Yeah, I wanted
it's like sandbagging it early. You're like, oh, I just want to run.
My coach, she literally, we had meetings to meet her because we had got a new coach, and she literally sent me back 3 times because I didn't bring her what she wanted. And so my goals were attainable at first, and she was like, "What is this? No." Like she was like.
She would have hated me. I'd have been like, I'm gonna run a sub 1500. She'd be like, get off the team.
Get off the team.
But yeah, she was pretty strict about that.
It's like in PE growing up when they're like, all right, first day we gotta, see where you're at, and then throughout the year, at the end of the year we'll see how much bigger, stronger, and faster you got. You gotta sandbag it on that first day, man. You just gotta go nice and easy. It's important.
Yeah. Let's pop this question up here about the back-to-back defending champs softball Sooner softball team. How does softball look next year? Can OU3 Pete? So Matt, obviously I know Andrew mentioned in the chat. It's very possible, not even possible. It's just the truth that we will have, again, probably the best roster in softball next year. Obviously Jordy Ball's back. Nicole May is back. We got the transfer pitcher from Michigan, Alex
Storacco.
Alex Storacco, not Alexa, Alex Storacco, who's obviously one of the better pitchers in the nation, and a former Big Ten Pitcher of the Year at Michigan. And so
Travis Davidson follower on Twitter.
So the rich just keep getting richer. Not to mention there's another Gatorade National Player of the Year as a pitcher that's coming in. I believe she if I read it correctly, I think she's from North Carolina, but she's going to be coming in as a freshman.
Kirsten Deal is number one. She's 2022 number one player in the class.
Yep.
I think she averaged like 2.13 strikeouts per inning.
Crazy
that she pitched. She had multiple games where she struck out 17 batters, like back-to-back games where she struck out 17 batters. She will be a candidate for freshman of the year. There's no doubt about that.
Crazy. Probably going to have the best pitching staff in America yet again. Obviously, losing a player like Jocelyn Allo is going to be tough. Obviously, still have a great offensive lineup, but you're losing the greatest home run hitter in softball history, really, in NCAA history, softball and baseball combined. So
and you can just say greatest hitter because it's she hit for average too. I mean, she batted, she hit 500. So it's like it wasn't one of these situations where you see with a lot of home run hitters where they just take big cuts, and if they make contact, it's going out, but they have a lot of strikeouts. She hit for average. It just happened to be she was so powerful and would just have such great just power anywhere over the plate, outside, inside. She could get anything out. That her hitting for average also just ended up being the most home runs ever hit, which is incredible.
Which is just nuts. Now you got a mini. We didn't have to compare her to Jocelyn Alo, but you just got somebody that's on her coattails in Tiara Jennings, right? So it's not like Tiara Jennings is too far off from what Jossie was doing as a freshman and a sophomore. So got the Grace Lyons coming back as well. Kenzie Hansen, if she can return to form and not be hopefully she didn't have as many injuries, then you're still talking about, again, probably the top batting and hitting lineup in America.
What's interesting is we got to see who's going to slide in behind Tiare. One of the advantages this year that Tiare had, and why she is on pace to break the career RBI record, is because Jada was usually on base.
Yep.
One of the highest average hitters on the team or in the country. She's usually on base, and if she gets a double, sometimes a pitcher or a coach would be smart enough to walk Jossie to first to get the force out at third if they could do it and limit the damage with a runner in scoring position. So if you think about it, Tiare probably had more runners in scoring position than any batter in the country, like just available to her. So what'll be interesting is who forces them to pitch to Tiare, I guess is what I'm saying. Because Tiare forced people to pitch to Jocelyn. Because if you put Jocelyn on base and you got Tiare Jennings behind it, you'd be in a world of hurt.
Yep.
But so that's really, I think that's the most important position on the team for next year is who is going to, are we going to bring in a transfer? There's a couple big hitters. Yeah. There's a couple big hitters that are possible, but the protection that Alo got from Tiare, it's going to be hard to find somebody because you would have to find somebody that's on Tiare's level to replace it. So is there a person out there? Is there a person on the team that's on Tiare's level in the batter's box right now? I don't know if there is, but it's got to, it'll be interesting to see if we try and plug that hole with the transfer. So.
Yeah, and we'll just have to see what I think. We'll have to see how Grace progresses. Obviously, she had a great jump from, I believe, 14 home runs last season to 24 or 23, excuse me, this year. So she could take another jump potentially. Now, again, we'll have to see what happens with that. But I think that you're absolutely right. That Tiare definitely benefited. Obviously, she's a great hitter in her own right, but benefited from Jossie, and hopefully. She can be protected in a lot of ways by somebody else.
I was confused. I thought you were talking about me. I was like, what?
Grace Lyons. Stephen G asks, who's a better dancer, JP or Grace? Obviously, Grace, I'm known a little bit on Twitter for dancing or TikTok, depending on, whatever. Okay.
Crazy, you think you're the better dancer?
I'm the better choreographed dancer. I feel like I'm a cheerleader. I choreograph things.
Miss you run track. Miss you run track. You're not a cheerleader.
On the spot though, I guess Jalen, because
we need to see you choreograph something. You need to choreograph something for both of y'all to do. See how he can keep up with some choreography.
If you scroll down really, really far on Jalen's Instagram page, he has a really embarrassing video of us dancing to what is it? We were doing some dance challenge that was popular.
Juju on the beat, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah, back when I was in college.
We look crazy, and I don't know why he hasn't deleted it.
He's not gonna.
Crazy. Here's another one. Grace, what was the biggest adversity you had to overcome during this season?
There was two. got COVID again at the beginning of indoor. So I missed like 2 weeks of practice, and that just set me back um, for indoor. And then I was dealing with a little nagging knee hamstring injury um, at the TCU meet during the 4x1. It like flared up a little bit, so I had to pull out of the 200 for that meet. And so then outdoor season was just a little rough too. So just trying to rehabilitate from those little injuries and illnesses and everything. Yeah.
I feel like that's so much of being an athlete. At the D1 level is like everybody's injured with something.
Yeah.
Like it's just is what it is. Like everybody at some point's got to, they're nicked up. They got a nagging this and a banged up that. It's like
Yeah.
that's why I decided I wasn't going to be a D1 athlete mainly. It had nothing to do with my actual athletic ability or athleticism at all. My talent, nothing. It was really just because I was like, you know what? I never pull a hamstring, just hanging out, on YouTube.
Nope.
Not a once.
Safe here. Don't have to worry about disrupting something, tearing a bicep, pectoral, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to show this picture of me and Jada because I feel like I'm cool.
That's a picture of Grace and Jada Coleman.
She's iced out.
He is iced out.
Oh, yeah.
More ice.
Now, what Grace is not telling you is...
No, you don't have to say that. Like, that's so embarrassing.
She texted me, and when that first happened and said, yeah, isn't she the pitcher? And I was like...
You didn't have to say that.
It's like, no.
I don't really keep up with softball. They're really cool, but I don't know the positions and everything.
Well, we loved having you on the show.
Oh man, yeah, that was
Oh, green. Oh my
god. No.
It's a good thing you're not on Twitter. You'd be
getting
that'd be bad.
It's fine though. They won't say nothing. Is DJ Lagway about to commit somewhere? It seems kind of early.
No, he's not committing anywhere yet. People are just making edits of him and stuff like that. So his dad posted out an edit of OU and A&M. So
yeah,
no, he's not. No.
Gotcha. I think you're. This is your father, correct? This is your father, correct, Trav?
Yeah. Oof, that's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Trying to make Grace feel good.
Yeah.
My mom would have known. My mom's a big softball fan now.
Is she?
Big time. Yeah.
That's
We were watching pro softball last night. We were watching the pros and we were dialed in. Mom was texting about baseball. She's into the diamond sports. There's no doubt. But I got her her own little College World Series shirt at the College World Series. So hope it fits. I'm sure it does. But
yeah, that's amazing. Well, guys, we're about at that point in the show. Man, we appreciate y'all coming out. Grace, thanks for hopping on and being up here. I know you weren't here to visit me, but it's okay.
He's so dramatic.
Does it run in the family?
No, he's just the only dramatic one because he's a Cancer. And
weren't you the one throwing yourself on the ground and screaming and crying?
I was like 5. He's a grown man, so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Careful, he'll tell you how to get out of his room.
That's right.
You don't want that.
Well, guys, we appreciate y'all. Trav, appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you guys back here next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central Time. Trav, you got anything?
No, I will. I'll likely still be in Omaha at that point because I think we play. If we lose, we play Tuesday.
Okay.
So I think I don't know. I don't know if I'll be coming live from Omaha or not, but who
Hey,
knows? If I am live from Omaha, I'm sure a couple people in the chat will be in the background. So,
I'm a Trav.
home of Trav.
That's
Dude,
right.
did you see that tweet from I think it was like SEC baseball or something like that, where every school has a different like Omaha like mnemonic like switch up in their name. Have you seen those?
I don't think so. Yeah, just
Well,
send it.
I'm gonna find it and we're gonna go through them real quick. Let's see.
Yeah,
SEC baseball.
Omahags. Yeah, they should have got.
Omahags is obviously a popular one. All right, here we go. So Notre Dame, the Golden Domers, are Golden Domaha. Texas are Oma Horns. Florida State is Nolmaha.
Wow.
Rice is Almaha. NC State is Omahowl. Arkansas is Omahogs. And then obviously OU is Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
TCU is the Toad to Omaha. Cal State Fullerton being Cal State Omaha is a little weak for me. Virginia being the Omahoos, not bad. Ole Miss is Omaha. Yeah, somewhere last year. And then Auburn did Omaha, but the A is the Auburn logo with the U in the background. Oma Dogs is Mississippi State. LSU was Omaha, but the way they spell like go,
Yeah,
like P-A-U-X, Maha.
P-A-U-X. Yeah,
Yeah, it was. I don't like LSU much, but I think that's pretty cool.
that is cool.
But yeah, it's yes, obviously because certain number of teams aren't in Omaha, but yeah, that kind of stuff. I feel like it just. I feel like it goes a little far with some of them, but I do like that.
2010.
Oh man, Texas A and Omaha. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one, but
That's weird.
But anyways, yeah, I'll be headed that way. So
Dope.
next Stephen G. Next big commitment. I don't know, either
Nebraska has
Cole Adams or
baseball. So
Jacoby Johnson.
have fun.
Maybe. What's up, Grace?
I said only thing Nebraska has is corn and baseball. So have fun.
Yep, and Caden Helms.
And Caden Helms.
And Cade McIntyre.
Yep.
So, all right, we got one last question from old Byron.
Wow, I didn't even know he watches your show.
Yeah, he's been on here a couple
He's
times.
been on the show.
What is my biggest transition from high school to college? I think I'm becoming more of a 200 runner. So that's a big transition. I think that next year, because I was dropping times this season, but I was dealing with that injury. So I feel like next season I'll drop even more, hopefully get into the 23s maybe. So yeah, that was my biggest transition.
Also switching from being a cheerleader to a track star.
Yeah.
Changing sports entirely.
Oh yeah, that too.
My word. Oh, well, guys, as always, it's been so fun. Always is spending Wednesday nights with y'all. So we're going to keep it rolling. Like I said, we'll be back next week. Trav may be live from Omaha, Oklahoma. Hopefully. We'll see. But, yep, we're getting closer and closer to the season. So excited to continue to break down some summer camps once we get in there. And then, next thing we know, it'll be fall. It'll be here. So
season's right around the corner.
Yes. All right. Appreciate y'all. Boomer.
Boomer.